Oh, evening. All right, it's Saturday
It
Q&A
is.
session because I was out, not partying, I was at a gig, reliving my youth, watching Green Day last night. So 30 years of an album I bought when I was 14. I was 14. Yeah, I'm not quite 44 yet, but yeah, Jesus. That made me feel really old last night. And what was interesting is that most of the people there were my age or older, which is yeah, telling.
100%. You get that when you go to gigs, though. All the ones that I go to, I'm like, such a mix of people. You never know what to expect, who's going to be here.
No, and yeah, the bands. I mean, I like bands that are. I'm not into all the modern music, so I go to these gigs, and they're all sort of people who are in their sort of late 30s up to. I mean, the Green Day. This is what surprised me. The singer from Green Day is 52, and he looks amazing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have guessed he was 52. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, he's
yeah.
55, and both of those guys were running around stage like madmen for 3 hours. And yeah, and they're rock and roll artists. I think they're both teetotal as well now. So
There you go.
that obviously says a lot about the dangers of alcohol. And I am feeling the dangers of alcohol today. Oh, I don't drink very much. So when I have a few, yeah, it hits me.
It hurts.
Oh, it hurts. It does hurt. All right. Right, we've only got two questions today.
We have, yeah.
Which one shall we tackle first? I'll let you choose.
Ooh. Ooh. Shall we start with how to cut out ultra processed foods or reduce ultra processed foods in the diet?
How to cut out. Well, the first thing is cutting out. We were saying this just before we came on. You
Mm.
don't necessarily need to cut them out. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I've got hay fever.
let's say we're all struggling. We
Um,
can take this one. It's okay.
um, we don't need to cut them out
Yes.
because what we were saying before, it's yogurt
Was it
and
yogurt, bread,
yeah,
like your sourdough, all of those sorts of foods technically are ultra processed foods, but actually they're very good for you. You know,
yeah,
yogurt's got so many nutritional benefits, like probiotics for your gut, like really great for that. Really great source of protein as well. Like it's nothing bad. It's quite a like lower calorie food as well. So when you're
yeah,
trying to eat in a deficit, yogurt can be a really good way to bulk out your foods. Or if you're someone that doesn't necessarily like protein powders as well, to add that to a smoothie,
yeah,
you can get really high protein content in them as well. So foods like that. But I sometimes feel that when people are talking about ultra processed foods, they're not necessarily thinking about the foods that come into that category.
yeah,
It's become another buzzword in a way to demonize like your takeaways, your fast foods, which we all know we shouldn't be eating a lot of anyway. And I think this is the thing, this ultra processed where you've got the big scare on sugar and insulin spikes and all of these things that people now think they have to cut out like absolutely everything. But
yeah,
yeah,
and
there's some foods
ingredients
that aren't bad.
and then ingredients that they can't pronounce, but it's
Yeah.
or e numbers, and e numbers is something that's really interesting. Literally everything's got an e number. I can't remember what some of them are off the top of my head, but I think it's something like E100. What is E100? Curcumin. Okay, so curcumin is actually a natural kind of it's a food coloring, so but it's found in turmeric. It's a natural
Yes,
part
I'll
of
say
turmeric.
turmeric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then if you look at I think there's another one is E300, E300 food additive, um, vitamin C. That was another one that I remember. Just some of them I do remember. So ascorbic acid. I mean, you've got there's things like water literally has um, E number for water. I think it literally has a
Yeah, it's like a whole list here of them all.
yeah. It's just loads
Like
of lots.
E101 is vitamin B2.
Yeah,
Like, you know, like say
sodium bicarbonate is E500, which is baking soda. And it's an acidity regulator. You've got and the E numbers, the scales. So like E600 to 900, 600 to 699, I think is things like flavor enhancers, and you have MSG in there. You've got there's colorings which I think are like E100 to 199. You've got there's lots and lots of most of the vitamins and minerals have those E numbers. So people demonize these E numbers and go, they're terrible. You know, and ascorbic acid, if they see ascorbic acid, or ascorbic acid, as most of these weird influencers who take the t-shirts off and prowl their supermarkets do. Um, you know, they'll say ascorbic acid. This is terrible. It's vitamin C. You know,
Yeah,
they pick on these ingredients that they can't pronounce properly and scare people. And things like carrageenan is another one. It's a food additive, and there's two different types of carrageenan. You've got food grade and non-food grade. And non-food grade carrageenan can be harmful, but they conflate the two and they say, look, this food's got carrageenan in. It's, you know, and here's this study that shows that carrageenan is carcinogenic, but it's not the same thing.
not the same.
Um,
Yeah,
and the stuff like, oh, they add wood pulp to, so grated cheese has wood pulp added to it, according to these guys. What it has is cellulose. Cellulose is a really, really good anti-caking agent. It stops
yeah,
the cheese from sticking together. And cellulose is just and it's well, it's the undigestible part of plant cells.
yeah,
Yeah. And you break down, and it's part of wood pulp, it is, and they do extract it from leftover sawdust and things like that. But it's not wood pulp, it is a part of it.
yeah. They've not taken the wood pulp and like thrown it in with your grated
No,
cheese. You know, we do have food standard agencies and regulations
yeah,
here in the UK, across Europe, that means that you can't do things like that.
yeah,
Um,
and they, you know, they pick on these ingredients or these things, and they demonize them, and there is no, they don't give any background. And I think this is actually a kind of a wider issue, in that people have got to learn to be critical thinkers. What they see and watch on the television, on TikTok, in the news, they've got to kind of say, right, where does this information come from? Is it valid? And it's not just for food stuff, it's everything. I mean,
yeah,
especially as we're in the middle of a general election at the moment.
yeah.
And I think critical thinking is something that lots of people need to have, you know,
Mm.
rather than just take what people say at face value. They actually have to think about, well, where's this information come from? Is it true? Is it right? And go with it from there. Now, with regards to UPFs, we've said before, they do play a part in our diet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. They do.
No.
Yeah. But like I said, I think it is the ones that people are thinking like, you know, your takeaways, your sweets, you know, all of those foods that I guess have been demonized for years. It's those ones that now have another word to scare people into not having them. But in terms like cutting them out and reducing them, like there absolutely is easy ways to do that if you are thinking more. I wouldn't recommend anyone cuts out bread from their diet unless you're intolerant for any reason.
Yeah.
And you know, like yogurt, again, unless you're intolerant, I'd still say keep it. But if you're thinking more about, you know, your sweets, your higher calorie foods that aren't adding as much nutrition to your diet as other foods, then there are ways around it. You know, you can look at having something else as a sweet treat, like frozen fruit can be a really good one. Frozen grapes is a massive one for people who have like a bit of a sweet tooth, or you know, if you're looking savory, like you can make healthier versions of those and lower calorie versions if you want to. But again, it's not about cutting them out completely. You can still incorporate them into your diet and still live a very healthy lifestyle. um but yeah, if you are looking to reduce them, it's just finding if it's sweet or savory, and then finding something else that you will still enjoy, like the same,
Yeah.
or allowing yourself to have it, because the more that you try and stop, sometimes the more that you can crave it anyway. But focus on your whole foods mostly. But every now and then having ultra processed foods as an occasional treat, if you are thinking more in that category, then no problem.
I think what you've just said there is focus on whole foods, because we've said before, one of the ways that you and I both kind of work is that we look at, rather than this kind of cutting out, restrict, stop, which is such a negative mindset. And I say this a lot to clients in one-to-one sessions, rather than thinking, right, what have you got to stop doing? Focus on what you're going to do more of, switch the script. Because
Yes.
yeah, instead of going right, I'm going to cut out UPFs or reduce UPFs, and yeah, we and this before anybody kind of goes, oh, you're promoting processed foods and eating all this stuff. No, what we promote, we both promote is a mostly whole food or minimally processed food diet that allows some of the stuff that you enjoy as well. And if you
Absolutely.
focus on adding that stuff in, so focus on lean proteins, healthy proteins, focus on adding in healthy fats, oily fish, nuts, seeds, things like that. Focus on adding in your fiber for your veg, your fruit. Focus on your starchy carbohydrates, complex carbs, and
Yeah.
focus on adding those things into your diet. You are naturally going to eat less of the highly processed foods. And
Absolutely.
and that's not to say that sometimes you will still eat them. I mean, we excuse me, I know that when I'm busy, sometimes I haven't got time to cook a meal. I'm working till 8 o'clock at night, and I've not had chance to. So, for example, last weekend we had a busy Sunday. I didn't have chance to do all the prep that I normally do. So we got to a couple of evenings this week where it was 8 o'clock at night, and I needed some food. So I'll go and get a ready meal. I'll go and get a healthier option for a ready meal, but that is still processed food, and in some cases UPF. I'll have a protein pudding because I need to hit my protein target and I wanted something sweet. It's UPF, but that's something that I do on occasion because it's convenient, and that's
Yeah.
the key. When it's the choice between um, not eating and
Hmm.
eating because of convenience, then I mean, you look at mothers, busy working mums who need to feed their kids. They've, for whatever reason, they've had to work till 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and they get home and the kids are going, oh, maybe not that late, but they get home and the kids are going, oh, I'm really, really hungry. 6 o'clock they get in, kids going, I'm really hungry. They're not going to spend, and they might not have had chance to get to the shop. They're not going to spend hours going to the shop, picking the ingredients up, cooking them. It'll be a case of what's quick and easy.
Yeah. Grab it, get them fed, and that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Fed is always the best option. And like I say, there are a lot more options there on the open market. But
Yeah, there are, but you still need to allow yourself, don't feel guilty if you are going for the less than perfect option,
yeah,
whether that is some of these healthier option ready meals, or heaven forbid you go and get yourself a frozen pizza. You're not going to die from eating one frozen pizza.
yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
poison is in the dose. I mean, I watched a really good TikTok. Like, this guy's going. He starts by saying, sugar is bad for you if you eat too much of it, and you're thinking, oh God, this is going to be one of those. But then he goes, kale is bad for you if you eat too much of it. Oranges are bad for you. Carrots are,
Yeah.
and this is the point that we're trying to make. Water is bad for you if you drink too much of it.
Yeah.
Oxygen's bad for you if you have too much in the air. It's not good. So yeah, I think instead of thinking about, to answer the question, the original question, how do you reduce UPFs? I think the first thing is, rather than thinking how you're going to cut things down and cut it out, what can you add into your diet more that will
Yeah.
naturally reduce it? So focus on your lean proteins, veg, focus on your complex carbohydrates, focus on drinking more water, all of that sort of stuff, and that will naturally reduce it. Other than that, don't overthink things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Second question.
Go on.
How to lose a stone in 34 days.
See, I know who put this, she does this deliberately to wind me up. So I've got a one-to-one client who's going on holiday in 34 days. She reckons she's got a stone to lose. She doesn't. She does not have a stone to lose. If anything, she looks amazing. But I mean, this actually is a separate point. So this is all to do with how she feels within
Yes.
herself. And part of the conversation we were having after she kind of put this up and I teased her about it. She said, I don't know why I stress about it, because I get on holiday and I look around and I'm thinking, why, she says, I feel when I'm on holiday, I feel great because I look around and realize that I'm in really, really good shape.
Yeah.
And people don't worry about what I look like anyway. But her point was, this is for her. She wants to go on holiday feeling great. So she was talking about, she picked a stone because she knew it was winding me up, but we did talk about rapid fat loss. So if you want to lose a stone in a month, what did we say with the two ways that we could do it?
Chop off a limb was Will's
Yep.
first option.
I don't recommend that one.
Or yeah, sort of extreme
Yeah.
calorie deficit, basically. So just heavily restrict your energy intake. The ways that you do that, like we said, is start by reducing your carbohydrate intake.
Yeah.
Because you'll naturally hold on to a little bit more water. It will deplete your glycogen scores, glycogen stores. I can't speak in the body.
It's catching.
Which again will naturally bring that scale weight down. Keep on top of drinking lots of water. Increase your fruit and veg. So, yeah, focus on your lean proteins and cut those calories like right down. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
fun, but it
No,
would then be doable.
I
But
mean,
yeah, you just have to heavily restrict.
you're looking at, I mean, in real terms, you're looking at 800 calories. Yeah. Because anything less than that is, well, there are diets out there that are, and it's not that it's not that very, very low calorie diets are inherently dangerous. We'll talk about these in a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were going to look at losing a stone, you're looking at really massively restricting your calories, 600 to 800 calories.
Yeah.
Before anybody goes off, this is not us. This is just to illustrate a point. So massively reduce your calories, cut your carbs because you're going to lose water weight because you'll deplete your glycogen stores. You're going to be looking at 10, 15, 20,000 steps a day. You're going to be looking at cardio workouts. You're going to be looking at drinking lots of water, as Alice says, lots and lots of fruit and veg, because that's the stuff that's going to keep you satisfied.
Low
Not
calorie
very
and
many
keep your
calories.
body. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. And you might lose a stone in a month. You intermittent fasting, you can skip breakfast, you could fast for 2 days. Remember, this is what Michael Mosley, and I've got to be careful here because unfortunately he's no longer with us. But this is what he advertised at the start of the year as one of his things: lose a stone in 21 days. And yes, this would work, but it's miserable. And if
For
you
the
do it
majority of
for more than a
people,
week,
you think about what you have to give up to achieve that. For a lot of people, it's, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be walking 15,000
exactly.
steps a day. I don't have time.
No.
I don't want to not be able to eat bread or pasta for a month. Like,
Yeah.
okay, what do you
I
want
don't
more?
want to. I don't want to not drink. I don't want to not have a drink of alcohol at the weekend. I don't want to skip my chocolate when at the end of the day. I don't
Yeah,
want. That's the point. To do this, it is massively restrictive, and you would have to sacrifice so much. That is the point
yeah.
of.
And that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
But most people don't want to do that.
No,
And so yeah, it is possible.
but it's you've kind of got to ask, do I want to? And that's why most people fail. Now, there are ways. This is where we were talking. So Alice and I, before the call, were talking about rapid fat loss. Most people, I would never recommend this for, because it's not something that's sustainable. It is hard work, but there are ways of doing aggressive diets, aggressive deficits to lose fat and lose weight quickly.
Yeah.
There's something called the protein sparing modified fast. So that's been around for quite a while. And more recently, Martin McDonald has been doing aggressive deficits, calorie deficits, rapid fat loss. His diet, he calls it the eat as little as you can diet.
Yeah.
But the idea of this is that actually, sensibly, we've got to think about what we eat. So when you're in a deficit, it's not just fat that your body is going to lose. It will try and kind of counter some of the effects of what you're doing in terms of cutting your calories. So if you slash your calories, the body's going to try and get rid of expensive tissues to maintain. So it's going to lose muscle mass, and that's something that you've got to be careful of if you are looking for fat loss and are eating in a deficit. That's low, moderate, or high deficit. So that's why we say eat a high protein diet. It's to maintain your muscle mass. And that's just eating a normal diet at maintenance as well. So for a very aggressive diet, we're going to eat a lot of protein. That's going to maintain muscle, and it also helps keep you feeling fuller for longer. Then you're looking at low carb. Again, low carb, because what it's going to do is encourage your body to use fat as an energy store. So we cut the carbs down, we will lose weight rapidly because we're going to deplete glycogen and water, and then your body has to go into kind of fat burning stage. But we eat a low fat diet as well. So it's not dietary fat that we're burning, it is body fat. Now, this is not something that you can do long term. It's not sustainable because it's hard, but it's not necessarily healthy because you are not getting in enough dietary fats, and we need fats. We're not going to be getting essential fatty acids. So this is something that you can do, and I would only ever recommend you do it under supervision with somebody who is a qualified nutritionist or qualified professional. And it's something that you do for like a week to 2 weeks tops. You have a diet break, you eat back up to maintenance, and then you might want to go again. But even that's hard.
Yeah, it's still
It,
miserable.
it
That
is.
feel like the longest 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I've done it myself. It's good for a kickstart. I've done it myself. I have used it with clients who are suitable for it. They've got to be excited. They've got to be committed. And I've had some clients going, "Oh, I've heard about this." From another client of yours has done really well, and they lost this much weight in a week, and oh, it's fantastic. Can I have a go? And I explain to them what they've got to do, and they go, "Yeah, no, no, no." And I'm like, yeah, because it's hard.
Yeah.
So I would never push it on people. It's something that is their choice. But it can, like I say, I've done it myself. It can kickstart you, but it is something that it is tough. I mean, if anybody's ever interested in wanting more information on it, they can go, "Oh, Will, tell me more," and I'm
Yeah.
more than happy to discuss it. But yeah, it's tough. This is why we don't recommend rapid fat loss.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, if you're being realistic, in 34 days, that gives about 5 weeks. If you're looking at your normal 1 to 2 pounds of, body weight loss a week,
Yeah.
you'd be between 5 and 10 pounds. So if you dieted a little bit harder, so restricted a little bit more than perhaps you normally would when you're trying to eat in a little bit of a deficit, then you could maybe hit close to like the 10 pounds. But again, you're going to have to be really honest and quite strict with yourself. So yeah, it's nothing to say it's impossible to lose a stone in 34 days, but it wouldn't be fun. And then it's worth remembering that when you do like these rapid fat losses, as soon as you introduce your carbohydrates back into your diet, that scale weight is going to shoot back up.
Yeah.
And this is where the relationship with the scales can be such a difficult thing, because it's remembering it's not always going to be fat that you're losing. It will be that water weight. It is that initial drop.
Yeah. And in
Almost
fact, any rapid changes in scale weight, any
Yeah.
rapid changes is 100% not fat.
Yeah.
Because your body cannot either lose nor store body fat in any great amounts overnight. It just can't. So yeah, and that's that. You really, really great point now. And this is the same with moderate deficit and a slower rate of fat loss, that as soon as people hit their goal weight, that they have this idea, that's my goal weight, or they think, yeah, I'm happy, and they stop dieting, and let's say they've done it sensibly and they follow the processes that we do, they've built the habits and the routines, and then we kind of say, right, we're now going to increase your calories a little bit. And the way you do that, there's lots of different ways that you can do it, far too many to go into in here, but naturally you're going to be consuming more food. So
Yes.
your weight is initially going to go up because you're going to have more food in your digestive system. You're going to replenish any depleted glycogen, any carbohydrate stores within your body. They're going to be filled up, which means that you're going to hold on to more water, which isn't a bad thing. It means your muscles are going to work efficiently. You might
Yeah.
look a bit fuller in terms of the muscles. But if you're weighing yourself and your whole thing is on that, and this is
Yeah.
a really good argument, it's this is the problem with people, that they focus that number on the scales. Your head's going to fall off. It really is, because your weight does go up. So this is why we always say scale weight is just one part of measuring your progress. Measurements, fitness levels, how your clothes fit, how you appear in the mirror, how other people comment on you. This is one of the things that I get a lot, and I imagine you know you've experienced this yourself, where people go, "Oh, you're looking, you look like." I don't like it when people go, "Oh, you look like you've lost weight," because you don't always know the reason behind it, and it could be illness and things.
Yeah, yeah,
They're like, "Oh, you're looking really good."
yeah. Yeah, and it does happen because it's still, as a society, it's ingrained that like thinner is always better. When actually I've been like at my lightest, I probably wasn't as strong, like nowhere near as strong, and definitely like my cardio fitness is nowhere near like what it is now. So yeah, you can't actually tell how healthy someone is just by their body weight.
Yeah,
That's not to say higher body, like having a higher level of body fat, obviously there's all the studies to show why that's not as good for us. There's nothing wrong with wanting to lose body fats, but yeah, it doesn't, like say, it's not always for because someone's tried. Like I say, it can be for illness, it can be that actually they're not at their best or anything like that. So yeah, and you, like you say, you will notice those other changes. You'll see how your clothes are fitting. You'll just have the comments from other people. Yeah, and like how you're actually feeling in yourself will tell you far more about how healthy you are than what that scale is going to tell you.
and this is what the client who was asking me this question was on about. It really, she was like, "I want to feel confident when I'm on holiday." I
Yeah.
went, then the scale weight has nothing to do with that, because we don't go walking around with our weight on our forehead, and
No.
we don't walk up to people and go, "Hi, my name is, and I'm 61 kilos." We just don't do it. It's just, or you don't go, "Oh yeah, you look about 63 kilos today." We don't. So why do we hold that kind of, um,
Yeah. And the
it's
same with
really
like clothes, like obviously when trying to shop for clothes, you can go into one
weird.
shop and do one size, or even in the same shop, you can be different sizes. But it's like, well, I can't buy that because I can't buy it in X size. Why? No one knows what size clothes you're wearing when you're walking around. Like if it fits you and you're
That's
comfortable.
a great point. You know what? I've never like, people kind of get gutted when they have to go up. You wear clothes because, and I've done this myself. You kind of, oh, I've had to buy the next size up. Do you know what?
Clothes
And I
meant to fit
bought,
you, you're not meant to fit them.
yeah, and do you know what? I bought pairs of jeans that are in. One of them was different, two different waist sizes.
Hmm.
And I think it was might even been two sizes apart. And when I held them together, they were the same damn size. And
Now
which
you
is
know how women feel, Will.
yeah, but it's the same, yeah, but it's the same with blokes as well. And you go and get these, because I know that I'm a certain waist size and I'm a certain
Yeah.
leg length, so I will go and pick these clothes off the shelf that say, because with blokes it is, da 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 da, put them on.
And if it's a waist
Fit me.
size, that should be in the inches, and that should be that no matter where
Yeah,
you're buying it from.
but it isn't.
But it's
But it
how,
isn't.
like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So yeah,
And I've got, because I weight train, I've got bigger quads, so I can't, if I buy what my real waist size is, they don't fit my legs.
yeah,
So
my
I then have to buy sort of like do you know what, Fred and Florence from Tesco, absolutely brilliant. Their lycra in the jeans is ace. It means it fits beautifully. Um, yeah,
there you go.
Fred and
Tesco's
Florence
gone for
jeans.
jeans, guys. That's what you can take away from this week.
Yeah, but it's a really good point,
Yeah,
and
no one knows what size you're wearing. If it fits you and you're comfortable, that's
it's
all
not
that
just
matters.
scale weights, it's sizes as well. Really good point. I like that.
There you go.
That is a
Going
bomb
on
to
Instagram
end on.
post, guys. You watch.
Yeah, that's a bombshell to end on, because it's not
There
just
you
scale,
go.
right? It's not just, we kind of think, how do the clothes fit? And oh my God, we've gone up. It's a really good point. It's how we feel.
Yeah,
Um, and I
absolutely.
think that's a really good thing to think about. If you are lifting more, if you feel, if you're building muscle and you're feeling firmer, that's massively helped me, that one. If you're lifting more and feeling firmer, harder, if you can see the definition, if you've got people complimenting you on how well you're looking, not just going, "Oh, you look like you've lost weight," but God, you look really well.
Pretty well,
Uh,
yeah.
then what the hell does the number on the scale matter?
Or the
Fantastic.
number in your clothes tag. There you go.
Or yeah, and nobody knows what's. They'll just go, "That outfit looks amazing on you."
And it will look better if it fits you. Instead
Yeah,
of trying to squeeze yourself into a smaller size, if it actually fits you, it will be more
I'll tell you what. There were
beautiful
some
for
there were
your.
some people wearing clothes that they were trying to squeeze into at the gig last night. And
And they would have looked better in that outfit
oh
had they
god,
ever
yeah,
like the size that would have fitted them. But
yeah.
we have this stigma about buying a bigger size, but like I say, no one knows. No one's looking at your clothes labels. So
Middle-aged men trying to squeeze into skinny jeans is not a look, I tell you, really.
there you go.
They're trying to relive their punk 90s
They
punk.
were, weren't they? They were trying to relive it, Will.
Oh, I'll leave you with that image.
Thank
Um,
you.
cool, that was a good one. So really good things there. UPFs and rapid fat loss. And then just ending with a conversation on how we should measure progress. All right, guys, we'll both see you. When is it? No, you've been away. Have you? Are you
No,
you're back again. You are. God, you can tell I'm tired. Normal
I'm
time
going
next.
nowhere.
Yeah, me neither.
We're
I need
good. Friday's back to normal. We're
Friday's
fine.
back to normal. I need to sleep this weekend. I've got a nice quiet weekend next weekend, so no triathlons to try and survive. No, yeah, that one didn't go quite to plan, but we'll talk about that another time. No triathlons to try and survive. No gigs to go to.
Yeah,
So yeah, we'll
nice
be
quiet
on
one.
Friday. Nice quiet one. Right, guys, have a great week and weekend, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.